found out just how badly hotel workers are treated by user JetPlane88. Recently, I was staying at a very upscale hotel. I'd already been traveling for a bit, so sent my suitcase of clothes to their same-day laundry service. While the clothes were with the service, there was a storm in the area that blacked out the power at the hotel. I only had the clothes on my back, so the hotel nicely gave me a uniform they had on hand to wear until things got sorted. I was hanging out in the lobby with a friend, having a drink, waiting for the power to come back on. Wearing the uniform, obviously people assumed I worked there. In just the few hours that I wore it until the power situation was fixed and I got my clothes returned, I had the following occur. Woman bang on the side of my rental car I was sitting in, using both her fists to demand I explain why the power was out. Older couple physically blocked my path after I explained I didn't work at the hotel and couldn't help them. Not sure if they didn't understand me or didn't believe me, but they just kept barking orders. Guy worked up to me while I was on my phone. Yelled at me for being on my phone. I explained I didn't work there. He continued yelling. Made small talk with a woman for a bit. Her wife arrived and yelled at me not to bother her family. Almost everyone who I told that I didn't work there ignored me and carried on anyways. I already didn't envy the job of high-end hotel employees, but now I am especially empathetic. Lady and 12, by user it's Blue0. First time posting on here, but thought it was funny and wanted to share. For background, when I was 12, I had saved up loads of pocket money for this amazing pair of Dr. Martens black boots with red roses embroidered up the sides. I still have them. When I finally had enough saved, my mum took me to the shop and let me try them on and buy them. I gave my mum the money and she went up to pay for the boots for me. Now, it's important to note that I've always been tall. I've been 6 foot since I was 13, haven't grown since LOL, so at 12 I was very tall for my age. This led to a random woman coming up to me, saying, "Excuse me, do you sell children's school shoes here?" I just kinda stood there for a moment trying to process what was going on, and she obviously thought I was being rude, going hello and waving her hand in my face. I just said, I don't work here, but I saw the school shoes over there and pointed to somewhere I saw some plain black shoes awkwardly. By this time my mum was coming back to fetch me and leave, and she just stood there laughing rude and went to this lady who was staring at me like I was wearing a reindeer. "Aha, this is my daughter, she's 12. While still laughing her butt off. Thought this was a funny story and wanted to share it. Hope you enjoy. That is my twin, by user CarrieLB. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I worked at Best Buy. This was in the late 90s, during their peak, and we had a steady stream of repeat customers that would come into my department to shop for CDs. I was Christmas shopping on my day off when a customer I didn't recognize asked me a question. I was so irritated that someone had the nerve to bother me while I am clearly not on the clock. When I replied that I didn't work there, he said that he knows I do and why can't I just answer his question. My reply, nope, that is my twin. The next time the guy came in while I was working, he said he saw my twin. I keep this up for who knows how long, to the point where coworkers thought I actually had a twin. Oh, my ego. I graduated from nursing school about 15 years ago and had just started my first job in the field. I was just about to turn 40. In nursing school, we were required to wear white scrubs. No one wears white in a hospital anymore. A few docs wear white coats, but they're phasing out. The whites really marked you as a student and outsider. At the new job, we were required to wear navy blue. Cool. So I had my new blue scrubs on, and my wife asked me to stop at the grocery store on my way home for milk and eggs or whatever. I got what we needed and took my stuff to the register. I set my things on the belt, and just then a little old lady on a mobility scooter stopped behind me and said something I couldn't hear. In my head, she had just seen my scrubs and, recognizing me as some kind of medical professional, was going to ask me something about her health or request my help. I felt fear, like it was my time to shine. So I walked closer, bent down a bit and said, "I am sorry. I couldn't hear you. How can I help you?" She asked, "Where do you keep the Ritz vegetable crackers?" That pretty much reset my expectations and fixed my pride in my new scrubs. I don't know if she ever found her crackers. I accidentally initiated the attack by user OK Wolverine -4660. I was at the store today and saw a guy in a polo that matched the store color. Made eye contact. He nodded and I said, "Do you work here?" And he said, does my shirt say major on it? No, I do not. And I tried to make a joke on my expense, how I must need new glasses or something, and then we laughed. And funny story, the item I needed was directly behind him. So as I picked up my particular item, 4 other people approached him one by one, asking if he worked there, each one having seen the previous person's attempt, me being number 1. Oof. Sorry, my dude.